Have you ever caught yourself thinking, well, I guess this is just how life is after 60? Maybe you've noticed a few more aches in the morning, a little more forgetfulness than before, or just an overall sense that things aren't as easy as they used to be. And then, somewhere in the back of your mind, you hear that little voice saying, that's just aging. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, I have some good news for you. That voice, it's lying. Aging is a natural part of life. But there are so many myths about getting older that are holding you back, making you feel weaker, more tired, and even less capable than you are. And today, we're busting those myths wide open, so you can take back control of your health, happiness, and energy. Let's start with one of the biggest misconceptions out there, the idea that slowing down is inevitable. Now, I get it. Maybe you don't have the same energy levels you did in your 20s or 30s. Maybe you've even noticed that you get tired a little quicker or that your joints feel stiffer than they used to. That's all normal, right? Well, not exactly. Here's the truth, while some physical changes do come with age, they don't have to stop you from living an active, fulfilling life. Staying active is one of the best things you can do to slow down the aging process. The problem is that many people believe that as they get older, they should take it easy to avoid injury. But in reality, the opposite is true. Think about it. When was the last time you saw an elderly person struggling to get up from a chair or having trouble walking long distances? That's not just aging at work. That's the result of years of inactivity. When we stop moving, our muscles weaken, our balance worsens, and our bodies become more fragile. But when we keep moving, when we stretch, walk, lift weights, or do activities we love, we stay stronger and longer. And no, you don't need to start running marathons or lifting heavy weights. A simple daily walk, some gentle stretching, or even dancing around the living room can do wonders for your energy and mobility. The key is to move in a way that feels good for you. Now, let's talk about another myth that might be holding you back, the belief that memory loss is just a normal part of getting older. How many times have you forgotten where you put your keys, struggled to remember someone's name, or walked into a room and completely blanked on why you went in there? It's frustrating, right? And what do most people say? Oh, it's just old age. But here's something most people don't realize. While some memory changes are normal, serious cognitive decline is not an inevitable part of aging. Your brain can grow and form new connections at any age, if you give it the right tools. One of the biggest ways to protect your brain is through what you eat. Studies have shown that diets rich in healthy fats, antioxidants, and brain-boosting nutrients, like those found in nuts, berries, leafy greens, and fatty fish, can help keep your mind sharp. On the other hand, processed foods, excess sugar, and unhealthy fats can speed up cognitive decline. But it's not just about what you eat. Keeping your brain active is just as important. Learning something new, playing memory games, socializing with friends, or even doing puzzles can keep your brain engaged and strong. Think of it like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it stays. So if you've been worried about your memory, don't just accept it as part of aging. Start challenging your brain, feeding it the right nutrients, and staying curious. You might be surprised at how much sharper you feel. And that brings us to another big misconception. The idea that older adults don't need as much sleep. How many times have you heard someone say, oh, I just don't need as much sleep anymore, or, I only get 5 hours a night, and that's fine. But here's the thing, sleep is just as important in your 60s, 70s, and beyond as it was when you were younger. In fact, getting good quality sleep is essential for everything from brain function to heart health to keeping your immune system strong. The problem is that our sleep patterns can change as we age, making it harder to fall or stay asleep. But that doesn't mean you need less rest, it just means you need to be more intentional about creating healthy sleep habits. That means avoiding screens before bed, creating a relaxing nighttime routine, keeping your bedroom cool and dark, and sticking to a consistent sleep schedule. And if you're waking up feeling exhausted, don't just brush it off, talk to your doctor. Sleep disorders like sleep apnea are common in older adults, and they can have a huge impact on your energy and health. So, if you've been telling yourself that sleep doesn't matter as much anymore, it's time to rethink that. Your body and brain will thank you for it. There are so many myths about aging that keep people feeling stuck, believing that they have no control over their health, energy, or happiness. But the truth is, you have more power than you think. Now, let's talk about another belief that might be keeping you from living your best life, the idea that it's too late to make a change. How many times have you thought about eating healthier, starting an exercise routine, or picking up a new hobby, only to stop yourself with the thought, what's the point? I'm too old to start now. This is one of the most damaging myths about aging because it convinces people to settle. To accept aches and pains as their new normal. To stop learning, stop growing, and stop trying. But here's the truth, change is possible at any age. Your body and brain are constantly adapting, no matter how old you are. Think about this, did you know that people in their 70s and even 80s can still build muscle? That their brains can still form new neural connections? Science has proven it time and time again, your body and mind respond to what you give them. If you start exercising today, even if you haven't done it in decades, you'll get stronger. If you start eating healthier, your body will begin repairing itself. If you challenge your brain, you can sharpen your memory and focus. There are countless stories of people in their later years who transformed their lives simply by deciding to start. A woman in her 70s who ran her first marathon. A man in his 80s who took up painting for the first time. People in their 60s who turned their health around by switching to whole, nutritious foods. And the best part? You don't have to make drastic changes. Even small shifts, like adding an extra serving of vegetables to your plate, walking for 10 minutes a day, or practicing gratitude every morning, can create a ripple effect that improves your energy, mood, and overall well-being. So if you've been telling yourself it's too late, I want you to challenge that thought. Because the truth is, the moment you decide to make a change is the moment your future starts to shift. And that brings us to the final myth we need to bust today, the idea that loneliness is just part of getting older. It's heartbreaking how many people believe this. Maybe your kids have grown up and moved away. Maybe you've lost a partner or some close friends. And slowly, the invitations come less frequently, the phone calls become fewer, and it starts to feel like isolation is just part of the deal. But here's what you need to know, loneliness is not an inevitable part of aging, it's a challenge that you can overcome. And you don't have to do it alone. Staying socially connected is one of the most important things you can do for your health. Studies show that loneliness can be just as harmful as smoking or obesity when it comes to long-term health risks. It increases stress, weakens the immune system, and even accelerates cognitive decline. But the good news? The opposite is also true. When you stay connected, when you nurture friendships, join new groups, or simply make an effort to engage with others, you protect your mind and body in powerful ways. You don't need a huge circle of friends. Just a few meaningful connections can make all the difference. Maybe that means reaching out to an old friend. Maybe it means joining a local class, a book club, or even an online group where you can share interests with others. Maybe it's as simple as smiling and striking up a conversation with a neighbor. And if you're thinking, but I don't have anyone to reach out to, don't let that stop you. There are so many ways to meet new people: volunteering, taking a class, or joining a local community center. It's never too late to build new relationships and find people who bring joy into your life. So, let's put that myth to rest. You are not meant to go through this stage of life alone. There are people out there who would love to know you, and who would benefit from your wisdom, your kindness, and your presence. You just have to take that first step. Now, think about everything we've covered. All the myths we've busted. The idea that slowing down is inevitable? Not true. That memory loss is unavoidable? Also not true. That sleep doesn't matter. That it's too late to make a change. That loneliness is just part of aging. None of that is true. What is true is that you have more power over your health and happiness than you may have realized. Your future is not written in stone. It's shaped by the choices you make today, no matter how big or small. So, what's one small change you can make today? Maybe it's adding a short walk to your routine. Maybe it's picking up the phone and calling a friend. Maybe it's simply deciding, right now, that you deserve to feel strong, happy, and full of life, at any age. Because the truth is, aging isn't something that happens to you. It's something you get to shape. And the best years? They might just be ahead of you. That's the real secret, isn't it? The years ahead of you aren't just something to endure, they're something to embrace. You still have time to create, to explore, to connect, and to thrive. But the only way to truly experience that is to stop believing the myths that try to hold you back. Now, I know change isn't always easy. It's comfortable to stick with old habits, to believe what we've always believed, to do what we've always done. But think about this, every time you challenge a limiting belief, you open up new possibilities for yourself. Maybe today, you take a small step toward moving your body more, even if it's just stretching for a few minutes in the morning. Maybe you start being kinder to yourself, letting go of that little voice that tells you, you're too old, or, it's too late. Maybe you decide, right now, to take control of your health, your happiness, and your future. And you don't have to do it alone. There's a whole world out there, communities, people, even online spaces, where you can find support, encouragement, and inspiration. If you're watching this video, you've already taken the first step by choosing to learn, to open your mind, and to question what you've been told about aging. That's powerful. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one thing from this video that resonated with you the most. Just one, and take action on it today. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe you go to bed 30 minutes earlier tonight. Maybe you make a point to laugh more. Maybe you step outside and take a deep breath, reminding yourself that you are still here, still growing, still capable of incredible things. Because here's the truth, age doesn't define you. Your energy, your mindset, your choices, those are what shape your life. And the best part? You're in control of all of them. If this video helped you see aging in a new light, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. What's one myth you used to believe about getting older that you now know isn't true? And if you know someone who could use this message, share it with them. You never know whose life you might change just by passing this along. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're all on this journey together, and there's so much more to explore about living well at any age. Here's to making the most of every moment, to rewriting the story of aging, and to living with joy, health, and purpose. I'll see you in the next video.